Hey guys, welcome back. I'm JKM. Here's a beginner guide to OVXC. So if you're brand new to OVXC, never raced before or anything like that, here's a tutorial to, get started. So first of all, you're going to want to join the Discord server right here. There's a whole process for signing up. I'll walk you through the controls. This is where you can get your gear and clothing. There's a bunch of different helmets. Um, but basically, on race day, typically right when we publish the track, you don't want to ride the dirt bikes or the quads on the course. So what you'd want to do is you'd want to mountain bike the course on the day of the race. If it's not on race day and you're just practicing, then that's fine. But what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to make your way to the start line, wherever the start line is. Right now I'm riding on Unadilla, so the start line is over this way. And before the races start, typically there will be a sign up area where the host, aka me, will apply a title to you above your head. So that would look something like this. And you would have a name above your head just to make it easier to identify you. But once you do that, you're going to want to make your way to the start line and you're going to want to line up with your correct class. Now, you're going to want to make sure you're in the right class. So if you're a complete beginner, if you've never raced before, I suggest you race in XC3, which is the third and last row. But if you want to count for points, if you want to be competitive and you think you can do good, I suggest you race in the XC2 class. Of course, that's for bikes. For super minis, there's only one class, and ATVs, there is only one either as well. But anyway, on the start line, when the race is about to start, there's going to be a countdown, but the countdown will only be for the first row. So if you're in the second or third rows, you're not supposed to go yet. And keep in mind, if you're a beginner, you shouldn't be in the first row. The first row is for pros only. And and thus when the race time comes around, you're going to wait for the second countdown and just listen to the instructions. And then when the countdown goes off, you go. You come around the first corner, try not to die. And if you're unfamiliar with the controls of the bikes, let me walk you through them right now. As you can see in the bottom of my screen, there's this thing called changing my views. I can change my camera views with C on my keyboard, and I can use D-pad right on my controller. This is what I like to run, a free camera. At the bottom right is a little, you can see what gear you're in. It goes neutral, first, second, third, fourth, fifth. So on keyboard, E is to upshift, Q is to downshift. On controller, X, or I think, is it triangle on PlayStation, to downshift, and then Y and whatever to upshift. And if you click up on D-pad, I yeah, I don't think it works, but it used to. You could change your transmission modes, but I guess that doesn't work anymore. Left D-pad or Shift C on your keyboard is a free cam mode. That's where you can take pictures. And yeah, so what you're gonna want to do is just ride the course the best you can, as smooth as possible. Try not to crash. Have good throttle control. Uh, I think I missed a couple of controls, so let me go over those. Left joystick on your controller or W and T on your keyboard is how you can wheelie. Now that'll come in handy for obstacles that you need to get over, but and you also have your clutch. So if you hold in shift on your keyboard or RB on your controller, you can enable the clutch so you can kind of use that to control the bike better. Now, when you're riding, you want to ride the smoothest line possible and the most fastest line. You don't want to take a lot of turns. don't try to don't go too fast because then you will like go into the tape like I just did there. You want to ride smooth and controlled. You want to have you want to make sure just get used to the course first. If you don't know what cross country is, it's basically a really long race on a course with a mix of fields, woods, obstacles, motocross, and it's in real life they do bike races are 3 hours long. Thank God we don't do that in Roblox. We only do about 20 minutes, so it is fairly long. So you have to learn to ride safely without trying to ruin your race or anything. But the main goal is just to have fun. Try not to be careful around specific parts of the course, like around water, because water can fling you if you're not careful. And try to just not get flung either. If you get flung, and that's not good. Uh, Getting lost, just try to follow the course as best as you can. Follow the dirt and the arrows. If the dirt leads you somewhere and you don't think it's right, then sometimes you can just watch for what other people are doing. If other people are going one way, then I think sometimes it's safe to assume just to follow them. Just follow the arrows, the barriers, the tape, and you'll be a-okay. And if you do end up getting lost and you just really can't find your way around, you can try to contact a marshal that is on during the race. Of course, if you're practicing, then that doesn't really apply. I mean, if you get lost while riding the course, just try to find your way back. There's no marshals. On the motocross sections, just you can kind of have fun and hang it out, you know? You don't have to worry too much. Just focus on not sliding your bike out and don't overcorrect. Kind of try to just try to keep it on two wheels for the most part, unless you're in the air, of course. And I don't really know what else to say. I mean, I'll put the link for this game in the description. There's a bunch of other OVXC games you can practice on to get better at riding enduro. Um, my best tip to you is just to learn the techniques and just practice as much as you can. If and just stay consistent and stay in like the series, if you're racing a series, don't just race one round and call it quits. Keep on going, even if you feel like you're slow or you're not that competitive. You'll grow over time. It's not something you're good at instantly. And try to finish each race. Finishing a race is, and especially in a championship, is a lot more important than any position. Like, of course, you want to try to secure the best position, but just finishing the race is how you get there. And, just make sure you also listen to the race instructors. Especially as a beginner, if you're a lapped rider, if the pros are coming up to you, it's very important that you move over for them. So if you hear something like move over, blue flag, just move out the way, let them by you. It's not really, just don't give them a hard time or try to battle with them because oftentimes they're like a whole lap ahead. It's pretty much impossible to unlap yourself completely, of course. Just try to just try to if you want to battle with someone, battle with the riders in your class. I know it's sometimes a bit difficult with how small the classes can be and spread out, but and something I think I left out when I was explaining the controls is the parking brake. The parking brake can come in handy for a bit of extra braking power, especially when you need it. If you want to slide it out, you can use the parking brake to give it a little bit of extra slide. On the jumps, there's something called brake tapping where you tap your parking brake midair and it brings your front end down. And it comes in handy if your front end is too high up. And that'll help you immensely. So if you get to master the controls, learn how to ride, not slide out or anything. Another tip that I have for you guys is in the corners when you're turning, don't use the brakes while you're turning because you'll slide out or you'll you know, front tuck. Front tucking happens when you turn and you're just not and you're typically it's when you're on the brakes. This this corner's really wet. Just got to be smooth here. So just keep it. It's just all about control. You typically practice. When you practice more, you'll get better at it. And you can use your wheelie to lean back at specific moments to keep the bike under control better. And that is a lap pretty much. Here, let me just finish up the timing because I still have the timing thing on the top of my screen. And then I'll show you guys the quads. The quads are a bit easier in a sense. There's not nearly as many controls you have to worry about. So with the quads, it's F and down D-pad to turn it on because it starts turned off. The same camera system, shifting is the same. There's no wheeling or anything like that. There is still the parking brake. But the quads you have to be it's weird because it's not the same level of control as the bikes. You have to overcorrect a lot more. You have to the suspension is sometimes unpredictable, so it'll throw you into weird situations like that. But the speed, you can gain a lot of speed. As you can tell, I'm going a bit faster than the bikes are. So, and of course, line choice is very important. You don't want to be hitting trees. So you want to ride very smooth and controlled and pick the most widest available line and, be careful of how much you correct. But the one thing the quads do have that the bikes don't have on the same level is like a fast reverse. If you hit a tree, you can jam it into reverse really quickly. On a bike, you have to shift into neutral and hold the brake, which is it's not nearly as fast as the quads. So the quads are a bit of a different ballpark, and they're a lot more. Some people can agree they're more fun. You can slide them out more. It is a bit of a smaller class, which does mean you'd have anybody new would have a bit higher of a chance of getting good at quads, since it's not nearly as there's not nearly as much competition as the bikes. And another thing you got to watch out for on the quads is the tipping over. You can tip over, like it's not super easy to tip over, but it is possible. You just want to stay as planted as possible and as flat as you can. You don't want to get up on one side too much. You just want to, stay center. And even if you do get high centered, you want to typically I think you want to turn in the I don't know whichever direction, but you kind of want to if you turn your wheels, it can kind of prevent that from happening. I forget which direction. I just smacked a tree hard. But yeah, the quads are the quads all the vehicles you have to actually ride it to get used to it. But they all of them are fun if you learn how to ride them properly and you spend some time practicing. I'll leave a bunch of links for games in the description that you guys can all hop on and practice to get better. And of course, we give out rewards. So just remember, it's not for nothing. At least you might get like a little reward if you spend some time practicing and you get good. But I mean, at the end of the day, it is for fun. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Take the tips to mind. I know it's probably going on for a bit, but yeah. Thanks for watching.